Who knew this thing would be an actually devastating weapon? I've managed to protect a lot of realms this way, although that older gentleman won't leave me alone until I become king, but that's not really in it for me. I'd rather be more laid back than busy. Yeah, but the thing is pretty powerful even though being tiny. Oh, I managed to meet a great woman, by the way. It's just, how do I say this delicately? If your world ends up being destroyed, um, it's because she became possessed by this demonic entity. So, yeah, between you and me, um, don't blame me for anything that's happened. Look, it was just a present. How was I supposed to know that she'd be infected with some kind of demonic entity? Hello and welcome to Wade Universe Movie Reviews. I'm your host, Wade Universe, and when I'm not going around protecting the universe from a demonic entity that is taking over someone that I love. Oh, by the way, I hope that you guys enjoyed that joke. I wasn't very serious. If I can be serious, happy 6th year anniversary to both myself and my girlfriend, who I assume is watching this, and I hope that she enjoyed that joke I did at the beginning. Love you. I'm here in my own little universe reviewing movies, and welcome back to my Thor perspective. So you remember that on Monday I talked about I talked about the Thor movie. I liked it, but there wasn't much really for me to enjoy with the Thor movie, I'm sad to say. So that's why I kind of had high hopes that the Thor The Dark World would be a lot better. What was interesting about this movie before we get into it is that it was almost a throwback to either DC Comics The Brave and the Bold or Marvel Team Up. See, DC's The Brave and the Bold, which became Batman The Brave and the Bold, the animated series, was an interesting concept for the time. It had Batman and DC teaming up with all these different superheroes, and with Marvel, I don't remember if it was The Thing or Spider Man. I think it was Spider Man that was mostly teamed up with a bunch of superheroes. So this was kind of a throwback to the Marvel team up era. I would have said Heroes for Hire, but since Loki and Thor are almost a match for each other, where Luke Cage and Iron Fist are really different from each other, but they work so well because of their chemistry, it was not right to call them heroes for hire. So, does Thor the Dark World fall into the Dark World, or does it rise up to Asgard? Let's find out, starting with the plot. Ages ago, a villain by the name of Maliketh tried to bring the world to inferior darkness, with showing that Odin just grew into pooch and trying to save the world. Years later, his son Loki would be brought on to trial for him, being brought to trial that he is innocent for what he did for his attack on New York against the Avengers. The king of Asgard is still Odin. However, it is not Thor that runs the realm, for now he is protector of the nine realms, protector of everybody. But when strange occurrences happen into the world, as in some portals being opened up to places without any rhyme or reason for where they go, and when the mighty grace of Asgard starts to fall under Malekith, who comes back for revenge, seeking vengeance and taking back the Aether that he lost. It's up to Thor to forge an unlikely alliance with his brother Loki to try to prove to the world that he is a savior as well as he is an avenger, and to do everything in his power to stop this evil threat from taking over the world once and for all and proving to the world that he is the protector of the realms. Thor the Dark World has a very interesting plot, especially with a villain that I actually do know about in the Thor mythology, Malekith, the Dark Elf. And while I do like his performance in this movie, this does not have the exactly stellar cast that the original Thor had. And don't get me wrong, there were always a lot of great actors such as Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth respectively who really do a good job. Unfortunately, Anthony Hopkins doesn't really stick out as much as he did in the first film. It just feels like he's mostly here, same as Idris Elba, who I really did respect in the original movie as Heimdall. And unfortunately, that doesn't really necessarily fall apart. I do like the plot, though. It does seem interesting. Thor teaming up with his brother Loki and forging this unlikely alliance really does have a nice spot exactly in the realm. And it really threw me for a surprise when Loki ended up backstabbing Thor, only to backstab Malekith at the same time. I mean, that was pretty damn interesting. However, the plot doesn't really go that far. See, it seems like with the Thor movie that at the moment is that they set up all these interesting characters and whatnot, but barely set up the villains, have no real setup for the villains. Then end up falling apart at the climax, and then you just kinda just have to go with the flow. The Thor movies by this point are falling apart a lot quicker than the Legos that I used to build as a child. Yeah. I'm not trying to pick on the Thor movies in any retrospect. I want people to know that. It's just, so far, the first two movies kind of share the same formula, and that's not exactly to praise it. That's kind of a bad thing. For some movies, the same formula kind of does work. For example, look at the Hobbit films, or Lord of the Rings, or even though I don't like it, even Harry Potter has a freaking similar thing. See, the problem is with some movies is that when they set up a villain too quickly, it lacks the payoff and why we're supposed to hate them. There is a reason why Marvel movies nowadays have that exact payment for basically watching the film. For example, Black Panther Wakanda Forever took its time to let us know that Namor is not who he is supposed to be. He sounds like the genuine, iconic soul. And then he ended up attacking Wakanda for no fucking reason, just because one of his people got attacked. Yeah. So does this casting character list basically save this movie? Well, yes and no. The characters. Chris Hemsworth makes his epic appearance reappearing as the mighty Thor for the second time, or third time if you want, and he does a pretty damn good job. As I said, and it's not wrong for this movie, Hemsworth is the mighty Thor. He really pays the role with such homage and respect that he honestly becomes the character. So Anthony Hopkins returns as Odin, and this time around he does the same exact job that he did in the first film. Not too great, but not that bad either. He tried to prove that he is a father in this film and he does right for Thor but not Loki, but it feels pretty much tacked on and rushed in for a film like this. Tom Hiddleston reprises his role as the evil Loki, and you know something? Hiddleston is Loki in my regards, and he does a fucking amazing job in this movie. He's evil, he's malicious, he's goddamn terrible, but yet he has a great fashion sense with a great sense of humor that nobody can steal from him. Say what you will about Tom Hiddleston, but he and Chris Hemsworth are a blast in this movie, especially Hiddleston, who really owns the game as Loki in this film. He is a delight throughout the entire thing. Natalie Portman returns as Jane Foster in this film, and oh dear God, is she fucking frickin' and maniacally boring. She's suffering a breakup and she's trying to hide it. Look, I get that. We all gone through some bad breakups in our time, but I mean that she plays it like a snotty little child. Even by accident, when she finds the Acer and actually comes into contact with it and becomes, basically possessed by it, she's still boring and whiny over Thor. Please, for all that is love and mercy, please make her awesome in Thor Love and Thunder, because if she's the same whiny, arrogant little brat that she is in this film, I'm gonna be upset. Christopher Eccleston plays the role as Maliketh in this film, and yeah, he's pretty damn awesome throughout the entire thing. He doesn't play the role too seriously or underhanded, but he does it with such a class no one else can handle. I'll admit, he's nothing too spectacular and he's nothing too overwhelming, but the way that he plays the role in this does make him pretty well impressive, and I like his performance. Final thoughts. I went into this movie with an open mind. I really did want to like it. I really did want to accept it for what it was. But unfortunately, despite some awesome things happening in it with some amazing scenes and some amazing characters and cast, it's not my favorite Marvel film, especially for Thor. I really wanted this movie to be good, truly I did, but it's just unfortunate that it just fell apart on me and that I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, much to my dismay and disappointment. Now, don't get me wrong, don't let my review tell you guys how you want to watch this film, because it's still an awesome film despite my criticism and snark towards it, and it's still pretty awesome. But this film really does take a long, dreadful time before it really gets going, so you really need to be patient with it. But if you're willing to sit through it, and if you're willing to be as patient as you can, it is a fun ride from beginning to end, minus the ending that, in my opinion, is just dreadfully boring. Vinyl Pop Rating. It's unfortunate, despite me going into an open mind with Thor The Dark World, I actually didn't like it as much as I thought I would. Yeah, give and take, I always go into movies with an open mind, willing to accept what's good about it and willing to accept what's bad, and then weigh it on that. And it's unfortunate that Thor The Dark World has pretty much a good intro and a very good setting, especially when Loki and Thor team up. But once that climax hit, that's where I noticed the disappointment started coming in. The battle between Thor and Maliketh should have been more awesome than it was. Yes, granted, it was awesome seeing them fight on the streets of London. However, despite Loki's backstab that he ended up doing it 3 times, to Thor, to Maliketh, and then once again to Thor. It's not as great as I was hoping that it would have been. I really was hoping to see Thor and Loki both going up against Malekith, kind of get a little ease of who had the more power, Thor and Loki, and maybe play off of that. Malekith should have been easily more of a bigger threat, yet they played him out like he was nothing. It really doesn't feel like it fits the point. It kind of feels dull. You get one hell of an action ride from the beginning of this, and then later on, it becomes dull. Almost like a shot. And then it hurts in the end. That's why my Vinyl Pop rating of Thor The Dark World is going to be an Ultra Bloodstone. Two down. Two to go. Now, I heard a lot of positive things about Thor Ragnarok. And I've heard mixed opinions about Love and Thunder. So, yeah. I'm not against the Thor movies, and I did want to see them for the longest time, so this does give me an opportunity just to give you guys my truthful opinion about them, because I know that there are some people out there who probably do want to hear my opinion on the Thor movies, since I haven't seen them until just this year, so will they make it on my best year list? I don't know if all of them will, or if one of them will, but we'll see. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And do you agree with my criticism and rating of Thor The Dark World? Did you like it as much as the original, or did you hate it and you want to be like Ultra Bloodstone and hunt me down? Just letting you know. I have a hammer of power. I have a woman who has control of the Aether. And she will protect me at all costs. And I seriously mean that. Bring it on. I'm just kidding with you. I would never hurt my fans. You guys know that. No, I'm just kidding with you. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Join me at Friday, probably Friday night, roughly, and I will be reviewing Thor Ragnarok. Do I think I'm gonna like it as much as these films? Well, I'm gonna go in with an open mind, and I'm gonna be as honest as possible. Same when I review Love and Thunder, and I think that Love and Thunder I will review probably on Sunday, the day before my birthday. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys Friday when we continue my Thor perspective when I review Thor Ragnarok. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.